ageism, I guess even the way that people are spoken to by family members, sometimes we witness that where when we're assessing where a family member shows little or no respect to their parent, speaks over them, speaks rudely to them, won't listen to them, so you don't know what you're talking about, those kinds of issues which are really prevalent. So that's basically it in a nutshell for me.
I would say more teenagers.
More teenagers than the older generation.
Yeah.
Or younger people, not just teenagers. There are some really rude old people, but it's probably them rather than, old. Because they're old, it's more the person.
We've seen a lot of kids swearing back to their parents. It happens in church as well. Fear of the kids in church, like they talk back to their parents. If they don't get what they want, they're swearing. It doesn't matter how old we get. Our parents just put us together in one room and we have talk one-on-one.
There's always a line through right and wrong. And then if they go way over the board, then you're just gonna step in.
I think there are issues that every age group comes across, but more so when you're elderly, because people don't want to listen to you and don't want to take heed of what you've gone through your life, what they might be able to learn from is often missed. Because, you're an old person, I can't be bothered talking to you.
In the course of conversation, you can be ignored. Your opinion's not valuable.
Oh yeah, I know that can happen, yeah.
They don't worry the same. They don't notice you. Well, maybe some of them don't even know you're there.
So that's coming.
We've come across a few staff at banks who are quite disrespectful of older people or people with disability of some kind, not being patient enough to show them how to use a cash machine.
I was doing a property transaction for land and I went to my solicitor and she said, do you mind if we consult your attorney and your power of attorney and your beneficiary? And I said, fine, but why? And she said, you're old and old people make these decisions hastily and it would deprive your estate of your beneficiaries and so on. I was absolutely gobsmacked. My sole beneficiary said, Mum's as sensible as she's ever been, and we just got on with it,
Financial abuse is an issue that I've been witness to, really, where a person's EFTPOS card had been taken from them and used to the point where the account was emptied, and the person, because they were blind, had no knowledge that that card was even missing from their wallet. It left them with no money for food.
The two big schools were handy and they were all coming out after school and I was walking along the pavement and a wave of students came down the pavement. It was fairly intimidating in one way and I thought, where am I supposed to go? And I had to step off the pavement to let them through. They kept on coming. And I'm thinking, they don't even know I'm there. I'm invisible. And strangely enough, I like to challenge people. I kept looking at them, everyone that came by me. And it was the Asian and island students who acknowledged me.
Do you know how teenagers are becoming parents? That's when they'll start noticing how the older people are feeling. I guess that's how they just grow, I guess.
I have a lot of people who are either my age or older, I even have my mother pressuring me to pop out some babies. And I feel pressured because I don't want children, especially not this young, but they're always saying to me, oh, you're next and when are you going to have kids? And it's not enjoyable.
I reckon the longer I live, the less I know. I really mean that sincerely. With the changing world we're living in, I can't keep up with what's happening. I just can't. And I worry about the way people are living their lives.
It was at the BMX track and there was some boys that were being a bit naughty. And there was an old lady just walking with her dog and they started abusing her because she's trying to tell them to stop being rude. I thought the younger people were real rude and don't know what they're doing.
I had an argument with someone one day and said, where do you think all this began? We've become to a selfish society.
I'm living through it. I have always loved gardening. You wouldn't think that if you look at my garden today, but you see, that's where ageism comes in. I need 2 new knees. I've had 4 hips. I'm a hungry fox. And it was all because that knee got broken in 1950 and Q wanted to amputate it and I said, no thank you, I'm going to London to learn to play the pipe organ. Why don't you learn the violin? It's not my thinking. I don't think like a violinist. I'm a keyboardist, organist. Pull out the loud stop.
I don't like what I'm doing now. I've got to go for a driver's licence and next month. Oh, do you think you'll get that? You know, this sort of thing. Oh golly, I couldn't do without 4 wheels under me.
Just recognising that if a person can't drive, how then do they maintain the social context that they've had in the past? And it's people like Age Concern who really promote that to happening. There's lots of things that we can do for people to maintain their social networks, but not everybody becomes referred or noticed. So it's about everybody being aware that that social isolation can occur.
My kids got married, but there was always young ones around. You know, the house was sort of full of, yeah, it was great. And then, of course, as I got older, and then my husband passed away 5 years ago, and I've got a daughter in Singapore and a son in the UK and the daughter in Wellington. And I've had medical problems, so all of a sudden I'm on my own.
I think that younger people who have grandparents have a respect, and I'm not sure when that changes. I'm not sure when the grandchild gets to the point where they feel that actually they have the power over the grandparent, and it does happen.
They've stereotyped them as boring, old women who sit around and watch Coronation Street.
There seems to be a time where it changes, where suddenly they get to an age where they feel that they have the say over Nana or Granddad or whoever it might be. So education's huge.
Humiliating, particularly I'm thinking of one person who was so young and I was so old, and no respect for his betters.
We're talking about the older generation and the idea of going into an old folks' home, whether they wanted to or not. Basically, it would be up to their family and they'd be forced to head into that environment.
We've had people that have been pushed into going into care because the family believe that it's the best thing for them, and believe that the older person no longer obtains the right to make the decision. We know best, they don't know what they need, they can't manage, all those kinds of things. Physical abuse, we have had people that have been hurt at the hands of relatives or their primary carer. So that's just really the start, really, I think. You know, you could sit here and go on for hours about the things that have happened.
I wouldn't say disrespectful, but I mean, they might be short-tempered, you know, they'll be just short with you.
Yeah.
Where you still got a smile and you're trying to...
trying to turn it into a joke.
Yeah.
So you think...
You're like positive and then they're just short with you, like they're just like, no.
I did have a bit of trouble with my nana, and I think she's in her 80s. When I was looking for a job, she was just like, have you been chucking your CVs everywhere? Have you been going out and making yourself known? And I was like, I'm doing my best. And she's like, well, it's not good enough. You should have a job by now. And kind of made me feel a bit crap about myself. But she just kind of expected that I could just go out, put a CV down and be like, yeah, I'm hired.
Yes, I mean, some older people can get a reputation as being cranky because they think they know what's best all the time, because they judge on what was the norm during their own childhood, and they haven't realised that society and community has changed a wee bit and that they don't quite fit in anymore.
Like an older person probably thinking they're better because, like Finn was saying, that some of them just think teenagers are stupid and reckless and, you know, and they don't really have respect for teenagers. So there are a lot of teenagers who probably so the old people think that because a lot of teenagers are, but they sort of generalise it rather than on the individual.
That can happen too, but what we see more of here is that people see an older person and they immediately think, oh, they probably can't understand what I'm saying, so I need to speak louder, or calling them dear or ducky or something, you know, something disrespectful, which you wouldn't do to someone your own age. We've seen that. And also seen an intolerance to teach older people how to use new technology.
As I am, you shall be.
It's a lot harder these days to get a job, and you can't pressure somebody to get employed because it's not their choice. They can't be like, I want that job, so I'm employed. There's a big thing about it where you either have to get experience, or you have to go study, or you have to know people, and it's a lot harder these days compared to back then. If you could do something, you'd pretty much get a job. You probably wouldn't get paid as much as you do now, but it's still a lot easier. Like my dad, he got an apprenticeship when he was 16, and he's 57 now, and he's been in the same job.
Ageism is with you now, because those who are an impregnable fortress of ignorance are young and they can't see round corners. When you are my age, you will see round corners.
I live on my own, there's no family around, there's no one left of my husband, and I hate it. I just like someone to come in and bang the door, or, you know, drop a glass, or that age, and I never ever thought that I would be in that group. Still, these girls shouldn't be listening because they think, is this going to happen to us? But you don't really think it would ever happen. It was never going to happen to me.
And I think it's up to all of us, probably, to think about it and think what we can do about it.
Life does not hold up for anybody. It's on the move all the time. We don't have the same layer of skin that we had a month or two ago. You've got to enjoy your life where you are. It's not going to stay like that. You're going to change. You probably won't want change, but you've got to listen to your body.